flexibility.
Okay, then they move into
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Also for LMS, learning management systems such as Blackboard Ultra versus Canvas.
That's a really relevant point to bring up.
Absolutely, especially since this video we're looking at comes from an educational context.
You know, the video actually does touch on the differences between learning management systems.
It features a discussion about the move from Blackboard, including its Ultra version, to Canvas.
What's fascinating here is the feedback they received.
Yeah, they surveyed faculty and students who had used both Ultra and Canvas.
And the overall preference seemed to lean towards Kansas.
The folks in the video mentioned Canvas being more intuitive.
Someone even said that with Blackboard, there are always little things they'd forget how to do.
Right, that ease of use seems to be a big factor.
They also pointed out that many other universities are moving towards Kansas.
So it's interesting to see that real-world comparison playing out.
Okay, so now moving on from hardware.
And as we've touched on, AI often needs significantly more memory.
That totally makes sense, given the inherent complexity involved.
A future assignment involves using AI software,
To create a table of contents and a study guide.
using PowerPoints and review sheets to make it more digestible. Hey, yeah, what's up?
As well as assessment, tests, quizzes, and most importantly, co-teach with a conversational AI.
You're bringing up some really interesting ideas.
Absolutely. This video we've been looking at touches on a few of those points directly.
They definitely emphasize assessment through things like quizzes.
And they even talk about using technology for more interactive exercises, almost like personalized quizzes that adapt to how you're doing.
That's a form of assessment that can really cater to the individual learner.
And your point about code...
Oh yeah, go on.
Every quiz question is linked to a YouTube video, so when the student fails the question, only the YouTube videos that are relevant to these questions that the student failed are played back in a playlist.
That's a really fascinating approach to learning from mistakes.
It's almost like a built-in personalized review session.
The video we've been looking at does highlight the importance of reviewing quizzes.
And they encourage students to go back and understand why they got answers wrong.
Your idea of linking each question to specific YouTube content.
That would provide really targeted support for areas where a student struggled.
Imagine having a curated playlist of just the concepts you need to revisit.
It's a really efficient way to reinforce learning.
While this specific video doesn't detail that exact system.
It definitely aligns with the instructor's focus on utilizing resources effectively.
Okay, so building on this idea of interactive learning.
This video also mentions using AI to answer questions. Oh, go for it.
Also using Notebook LM to aggregate 50 videos and make a podcast out of them and edit the instructional materials.
That's a really interesting use of Notebook LM.
It sounds like you're describing exactly what the instructor is envisioning.
They specifically suggest using Google Notebook for summarizing content.
And you're taking it a step further by imagining it aggregating multiple videos.
That ability to pull together information from various sources.
And then create new learning materials like podcasts or edited instructions.
That's a powerful application.
Because the textbook is outdated, the publisher can only revise the textbook every 3 or 4 years, and the AI is completely omitted out of the textbook in an IT AI type of course.
That's a really insightful point about the textbook limitations.
You're absolutely right. In fast-moving fields like IT and AI,
Textbooks can struggle to keep pace with the rapid advancements.
the video we're looking at indirectly highlights this challenge.
By already incorporating AI tools and online resources so heavily.
It's almost like the course material is designed to be more dynamic.
Exactly, relying less on a static textbook and more on current tech.
This approach allows for the inclusion of cutting-edge topics,
Like the AI applications we've been discussing.
and it mirrors the instructor's encouragement of using tools like Notebook LM.
To supplement, and they even suggest using Google Notebook for summarizing key concepts,
Next up in the video software.
which they tackle through a group project focused on an extension.
And a quick reminder to check all the important notes.
Within the PowerPoint slides, they really stress that.
A good overview with a real focus on practical applications.
Oh, yeah,
Also, using VAPI, Voice API, to generate a dedicated phone number AI caller for each student.
That's a fantastic expansion on the possibilities.
You're absolutely right. The video we've been exploring discusses using the VAPI API.
And as you point out, that could definitely extend to giving each student their own dedicated AI phone number.
It's like having a personalized AI assistant on call, literally.
And you've cleverly dubbed it an AI cooler, which fits perfectly.
This ties right back into the idea of those AI caller numbers we discussed earlier.
Imagine the learning potential with each student having their own AI voice interface.
Okay, so with that important context in mind,
This video also highlights AI's very practical benefits.
in business, healthcare, and even law, as they point out,
They even mention accommodation letters for students using AI summaries.
it's about being inclusive and making sure everyone has the needed tools.
Oh, yeah.
And including real businesses in real time, contacting call centers at the university or in the hospital, and deploy this caller AI from VAPI.ai.
That's a really dynamic vision for using this technology.
It takes the idea of practical application to a whole new level.
The video we've been looking at definitely touches on real-world uses.
They mention AI in business, healthcare, and legal contexts.
But your idea of real-time deployment in university or hospital call centers,
That would provide incredibly valuable hands-on experience.
students could see firsthand how these AI tools interact with real inquiries.
And deploying those AI cooler systems in a live environment.
That would offer immediate feedback on their effectiveness.
It really
Oh, go for it.
Especially for organizations that cannot handle the load, like the 911 city of Hialeah.
That's a really crucial point you're bringing up.
absolutely. Thinking about accessibility for everyone is so important,
The ability for AI to interact via voice could be transformative.
especially for organizations serving individuals with hearing impairments.
And you mentioned high-load environments like the 911 call center in Hialeah.
In those situations, AI could potentially assist with managing the volume.
Perhaps by triaging calls or providing initial information.
It really highlights the potential for AI to improve efficiency and access.
Okay, so with that important context in mind,
This video also highlights AI's very practical benefits.
in business, healthcare, and even law, as they point out,
They even mention accommodation letters for students using AI summaries.
it's about being inclusive and making sure everyone has the needed tools.
They even suggest using Google Notebook for summarizing key concepts,
Next up in the video job software,
which they tackle through a group project focused on an extension.
and a quick reminder to check all the important notes.
Within the PowerPoint slides, they really stress that.
A good overview with a real focus on practical applications.
Okay, so we've covered the course management and hardware links to AI.
Now for a bit of a left turn in the video's content.
Let's dive into the very specific topic of vanity phone numbers.
It did seem a little out of the blue in this context,
They begin by explaining exactly what a vanity phone number is,
and they provide a clear example. USA Mon.
which translates to 872-666-9355.
Pretty clever, spelling out money monitor right there.
Definitely a memorable way for a business to build its brand.
And it gets interesting when they talk about how different systems handle them.
Apparently, Google can't directly process letters in the area code.
However, it can successfully convert letters in the 7-digit number.
So 872 Mon works perfectly fine and spaces don't matter.
That's definitely good information to have.
Then they look at reversing the process, finding a phone name.
Giving examples like Call Babe AI or 225 calls,
The instructor even shares a personal story about switching providers.
citing reliability issues crucial for any business number.
Ideally, the phone name and account name should match.
Then they move into a live AI interaction,
Really testing out this vanity number concept,
using Boost AI and noting very AI responses.
depending on the specific device being used,
So they directly ask the AI about vanity numbers,
and how it handles digit conversion.
putting the, oh yeah, let's hear it.
Also co-teaching with AI like 800 ChatGPT and
That's
640
a fascinating parallel to draw.
Absolutely, you're connecting the idea of a memorable, easy to recall phone number like an 800 number,
To the potential for AI to act as a kind of always available co-teacher.
just like an 800. Yep, go on.
Yes, also local phone numbers like 640
You picked
call
up on a key
Sam.
theme there.
Absolutely, the discussion does keep circling back to the local level in different ways.
We just heard about local markets in the course structure.
And now we're talking about,
Oh, back to our listener. What's up?
Local phone numbers like 640 call Sam, an AI caller.
That's That's a really interesting local application.
You're bringing up the idea that even local numbers,
Can be turned into memorable phone names.
just like the USA Mon example we heard.
It really highlights how vanity numbers aren't just for toll-free services.
And you're connecting that. Oh, yeah, uh-huh.
And most importantly, they are free of charge, unlike 800 number that they are expensive and you have to pay for each call.
That's a really key distinction to make.
You're absolutely right to highlight the cost difference,
The video we've been looking at mentions VAPI's free tier.
which allows you to get up to 10 numbers without any charge.
This makes them a very accessible option, especially locally.
Unlike,
Using the VAPI API, which could be key for individual AI numbers locally.
API meaning Application Programming Interface.
Exactly, it's how different software systems communicate locally.
Got it.
VAPI has that free tier for up to 10 numbers per wallet.
You can also import existing local numbers.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Plus, the local area code can be translated to words like fun or USA.
That's a fantastic addition.
You're absolutely correct.
The video touches on the 872 error code.
And as you point out, even those digits,
Can sometimes spell out nerds or phrases.
it adds another layer of potential memorability.
So these phone names with local numbers.
Really do offer a cost-effective alternative,
Imagining a local number like 640 call Sam.
being answered by an AI assistant.
Perhaps your AI colder concept?
It definitely shows the potential.
For personalized AI interactions locally.
Okay, so building on these practical ideas,
They then walk through creating a vanity number.
using the VAPI API, which is key locally.
API meaning Application Programming Interface.
Exactly, how software communicates locally.
Oh, got it. All right, as we near the end of this
The
part.
focus shifts to exams and study tips locally.
The absolute essentials for local course success.
Right, they outline the local exam format,
Starting with a multiple choice section.
about 60 closed book questions locally.
Hey, yeah, what's up?
Also adding additional vendors like Twilio in case VAPI doesn't provide the right number.
That's a really smart point to consider.
Absolutely, having backup options is crucial,
The video we're looking at does focus on VAPI
but the instructor mentions importing numbers.
from services like Twilio and Vonage.
So the platform does seem to allow